Hey everyone, welcome back. Holy crap, the episode Battle Scars had some crazy stuff happen and I can't wait to get into the breakdown. Also, I wanted to apologize ahead of time that I missed the last episode. I fell ill and was down for a bit, but I have gotten back up and wanted to focus on what's out now. So let's just get to it. In the beginning of the episode, we see the Batch is evading the Rokai doing a job for Sid. In the last episode, we saw where the Batch had decided to have a mutual agreement and make some money while she also keeps the heat off their backs. When they arrive at Sid's cantina, she tells them to bring the lizard to the back. On the way, Hunter looks over and sees a hooded figure in the back by the other two characters that are always there, basically in her bar, which also something I noticed when watching season 7 again recently. These are the two characters that Trace lets out of captivity from the Pikes when they are captured on that spice job with Ahsoka. Wrecker asks Hunter if Omega and him can go somewhere really quick. Hunter sighs and then Wrecker says it's tradition after every mission and it makes the kid happy. This was kind of a nice moment to see where Omega and Wrecker have their own thing they do after every mission where they go and get Mantel Mix or popcorn. We can see that these two have a special bond that seems to be more prominent than that of Hunter's lately, although I do feel Omega loves them all as her family now. When Sid pays the Batch, they see that she has a huge case of credits and that they only get a small cut. When they question her on it, she said that the mission paid 3 times the normal for her, not for them. She also said that it's rather generous considering the debt that they owe her, as she throws down a list of debts that she's recorded. They weren't aware they were being charged fees for docking, fuel, gear, and the Mentel mix that Wrecker's been putting on her tab. Sid tells them that they need a big score to make them square. So we can see that even though she is sort of helping them out, she's not going easy on them and business is business with her. Just then they hear blaster shots in the cantina, and when they go and check it out, she asks, "Who is it?" We see the hooded figure set their blaster down as we see the plating on the arm. Who else would it be? It's Rex. Rex had cleared out the two that were nagging him to get out of their spot. Sid was less than thrilled to see another clone, but the Batch, we can see that Hunter was relieved to see Captain Rex again. If you don't know who Rex is, I don't know why you would be watching this if you didn't love Star Wars in some manner. And if you don't know who he is, you have missed out on an amazing and important character. Rex was alongside Anakin and Obi-Wan and even in the end with Ahsoka throughout the Clone Wars. Rex catches up with the Batch and tells them a little bit about the ending of the war from his perspective, and that since then he's been keeping a low profile. Tech tells him that he's been keeping a very low profile and that the Imperial files have him listed as killed in action. Rex says that being dead in the Empire's eyes has its advantages. Echo asks how he tracked them down and he tells them that it was Trace and Rafa Martez. So we know that's who Rafa was talking to on the hologram, which I didn't get to release that video, but it is who I was pondering that it was. Many had theorized that it was Maul or Bail Organa. However, Rex was with Ahsoka in the end of season 7, and right before that, Ahsoka made friends with the Martez sisters and had even left her speeder bike there just in case. So when I had seen that scene, I figured that is who they were likely talking about when they had mentioned rogue clones. Rex tells them that the sisters mentioned that they were traveling with a kid, and when asked who she was, Hunter tells Rex that she is a clone, just like them. Just then, Wrecker and Omega walk in the door. Wrecker gives Rex a huge hug, and Omega says, "I thought you didn't like the Regs." Rex tells Omega he has met many clones in his time, but none like her. She examines his face, and Omega really is perceptive and puts pieces together easily when she tells him that he is a Generation 1 clone. She could tell by the lines in his face, and even though he is one of the first clones, I think you're still looking pretty good there, Rex. Wrecker starts to complain about his head, and Echo says that the headaches have been more often. Rex immediately shows concern. We see his face is very serious and wants to know more. When Tech tells him that if he is worried about the so-called inhibitor chips, to not worry, their deviant nature has inhibited them. Rex is concerned that they still have the chips in their head, so much that we see him put his hand over his blaster, and he tells them that they are all ticking time bombs and are more dangerous than they can imagine. They are a threat to everyone around them and even Omega, and that he didn't want to bury any more of his brothers. Rex is speaking from experience when he almost killed Ahsoka during Order 66, but she saved him after she was able to get it removed in the medical bay. When Hunter asks how they are supposed to get them out, Rex tells him that he will be in touch. He is probably going to contact Ahsoka to see if she can give advice on how to get them removed. We then see the Batch on their way to Braca. which if you've ever played Jedi Fallen Order, Raqqa is the setting in the beginning where Cal Kestis is working for the Scrappers, trying to blend in. If you haven't played the video game, I definitely recommend it, but that is for another time. When they land to meet Rex, we see that he still has the same ship that he took from the cruiser from the Season 7 finale. They slowly move in to take a look at where they're heading towards. They spot the Scrapper Guild patrolling the area which control the planet, and another side note is they favored the Separatists during the Clone War. Rex points out to a Jedi cruiser in the scrapyard amongst others in the graveyard of starships and says that his chip was removed in one just like that. They sneak their way through, keeping out of sight when Hunter senses something in the water and tells everyone to stay above the waterline. This whole area was amazing to see, the attention to detail, and it really brings you into the setting, and you can really feel the absence of the Republic with all the destroyed ship wreckage. They reach a point to where they must use a cable to get across to reach the medical bay. They all get across, and when it's Wrecker's turn, he hesitates, but Omega manages to motivate him, and so he starts to go across as the cable snaps, and he falls to the bottom where the cable catches around his leg as he dangles upside down above the water. Omega sees a creature surfacing towards Wrecker, and in fear asks, "What is it?" We see a Dianoga tentacle wrap around Wrecker as it tries to pull him in. They all try to pull him up as he frees himself, but eventually it wraps more tentacles around him. Wrecker gets pulled all the way under the water, and after a brief moment he surfaces as the batch start firing at it, and it eventually lets go of him as they pull him up to safety. As they make it to the medical bay, we can see the place is rat infested, and while Tech was concerned about the sterile environment, it will do nicely after Rex had asked him if he'd like to use the facility on Kamino instead. They prep Wrecker for surgery as we can see the chip is causing more pain for Wrecker as it gets closer and closer to activating. Omega shows concern and tells Hunter, what if something goes wrong, and that just because it worked on Rex doesn't mean that it's safe. The batch is her home now, and Omega pictures herself with no one else but them. Hunter tells her that they are not going anywhere and she is stuck with them for the long haul. As Tech locates the chip, Wrecker is getting more and more agitated as we see the sounds and lights are becoming sensitive to him. Rex begins talking about them being very lucky and mentions Order 66 as they go off into conversation and talk about how the Jedi were attacked and how they had helped the Padawan escape. I'm not sure if this helped trigger the chip or not, but just then Tech was going to give him something to relax Wrecker. We hear the ringing noise and his ears stop. His eyes open and he grabs Tech by the throat. The chip is activated and Wrecker is a beast of a clone as he throws Tech, saying that he's in direct violation of Order 66. We see Rex try to holster fire the stun, but Wrecker knocks his gun away as they all take cover and try to draw him away from the equipment. Omega stays with Tech as the others try to subdue him. This part was very intense and crazy to see them against their own. Rex tries again with another stun shot, but Wrecker throws Echo at the shot as he falls on top of Rex and knocks him out briefly. Wrecker grabs Hunter as he tells him all clones in violation of Order 66 are to be terminated, and just before he kills Hunter, Omega fires a blaster shot near them. He turns and starts chasing Omega, where we see she is able to hide for a minute, but when he finds her, the look on her face was so sad to see, the terror, when she tries to remind him that she is his friend. We can see her Wrecker was briefly trying to fight the chip with all of his strength, much like Rex did with Ahsoka. As he is saying good soldiers follow orders, he pauses briefly and lowers his tone, trying with everything that he has to not shoot Omega. Rex is finally able to stun him from behind and saves the day. As they remove the chip, Omega is very worried when he doesn't wake up right away and waits by his side until he finally does. He was extremely torn about what he had did as he apologizes to Omega. It was such a touching moment to see this part where she tells him that it's okay as she reaches in her pocket and grabs a handful of Antel mix and says they can't break tradition. The rest of them get their chips removed and now they are safe from their effects, and should they have the chance to save Crosshair down the road, now they will know how. Nearing the end of the episode, we see Hunter walking up to Rex, who is talking to someone on comms who I feel is either Ahsoka or the Martez sisters, but I feel it's likely Ahsoka. We see that Rex still has hope, and when Hunter tells him that the Republic is gone, Rex replies, not all of it. So it was awesome to see these parts as we fast forward to Rebels, where it seemed that they had given up on the fight. Hopefully we get to see more and more, which leads up to later in his life. Rex Rex tells Hunter that his squad skills would be useful, but Hunter is still not sure what it is that they are gonna do, but he does know that he needs to do what is best for Omega and his team. We then see Rex put on his helmet as Hunter tells him if he ever needs them, he knows where to find them. And then Rex fades out into the smoke or smog like the badass that he is. I'm not sure if we will see more of him, but I really hope that we do. The Scrapper Patrol spots Hunter up there at the top, where they mention that they are going to alert the Empire, so we could possibly see Crosshair coming back in the next episode, or even both Fennec and Crosshair, both after different targets, being Omega and the Batch. This was definitely a longer breakdown, but it was a great episode, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I am feeling much better now, and I wanted to thank you so much for watching. Stay safe in the galaxy, and may the Force be with you all.